Hey guys, it's Ben with Buy Your Build. Today we're going to be doing a build series on this little Mazda B2300 pickup truck. Recently got this little truck. If you know anything about these, you'll know that this is actually a Ford Ranger under the skin, specifically a third-gen Ford Ranger. So it's got the 2.3 four-cylinder, it's got a 5-speed manual. I'll show you that inside. So you can see it's a 5-speed stick. Really clean interior, by the way. This thing's well preserved. Comes down to the back. It's a single cab, and it's actually really clean. The cab has a bit of rust in the corners. It's a little bit bad down here. This cab corner actually isn't that bad, but the other one's pretty rough. Fenders a little bit. Oh yeah, we got
how clean the bed is.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got to show off the bed, of course.
The liner's like
the liner's beautiful. So we got a bunch of different stuff for the truck. First off, we got a new serpentine belt for it. We got some new radial arms. So the ones on the truck are pretty rusty and they honestly look like they're about to snap. So we're going to switch out for these nice fresh ones from Rock Auto.
$30.
$30, yeah. Wholesale closeout.
$10.
We also have got the finest in gear lubricants.
$10.
Super Tech. And Coolant.
What is this? $10?
10 for the concentrate plus like $1 for the distilled, yeah.
20
$. Yep. So that's going to be actually for the manual transmission. For those who don't know, these use the Mazda Overdrive 5-speed transmission. So they actually take ATF as transmission fluid. The truck only has 171,000 original miles. And like the interior, super minty. Coming around to the engine, this guy, we have the mighty Ford Lima 2.3 liter. These are port fuel injected. This one's actually an AC truck. You can see the compressor down there, and it does work amazingly. This is a very boring engine. It's a single overhead cam, 2.3. It's got distributorless ignition, and it's twin plug, if you notice. There's a set of wires here that go to one bank, and then a set of wires here that go to the exhaust bank. It's a very weird system that Ford came up with for these. It's to help with emissions, really. Their favorite part about these 90s trucks, they always have the 90s smell in them. It's very hard to talk about over the camera, but you can smell the 90s when you get in one of these. It takes you back. Put it up in the air. This is what I was talking about up top with the radius arms. You can see there's big rust hole. They're like paper thin, and these are structural members, so when these snap, bad things happen. Thank you for the lighting. Yeah, so you can see really the rough condition of this one. This one's a little less bad, but it's still getting there. The bushings actually look pretty good. All of the bushings on this truck are actually in really good condition. The I-beams on this truck, when it settles, the I-beams are still in pretty good shape too. They have some surface corrosion, but they're largely stable. Sway bar end links look good up front. Amazingly, this truck has basically no leaks. There might be a little bit from the rear main, but transmission pan, oil pan, everything here looks pretty good. It's a really solid truck, especially for what we got it for, so not bad at all. Ford, in their infinite wisdom, decided that we were not worthy of a drain plug on these. The pan has to come off anytime you want to service the rear end. Luckily, at least they decided to give us a fill port. We got them right here. And this one, actually, I got lucky enough, it's not even tight at all. So diff service should be pretty easy.
All right, guys, we're going to pop this diff cover off and watch. Oh, gosh.
I was not expecting it to go that fast.
Oh, gosh. Triple X rated. Look at that open diff. Yeah. Beautiful.
Right, we're done with the debacle that was dropping the fluid from this thing. It's never drama-free on these because it always goes everywhere. Anywho, diff's in great condition. So we got to clean up the gasket surface before we apply the new gasket. Down here, we got our cover. We're going to be using a liquid gasket for this today. Focus, please. We're going to be using a liquid gasket for this guy today. They do sell paper gaskets, but in my experience, the RTV gaskets last a little bit longer on the rear end. If you're curious what RTV we're using, I'm going to be using my favorite RTV, Honda Bond HT. I use this on literally everything. It never leaks. It is the best RTV ever, and I'm very upset that they don't sell it in a caulk tube. If I could get sponsored by Honda for this stuff, I would. I genuinely love this stuff. One thing to note, when I do these silicone gaskets, what I like to do is I like to go on the inside of the bolt holes, and I try to do it as one continuous bead if I can. It reduces the possibility of leaks or anything, and this should seal up really nice. Alright, so I got the cover back on with that RTP gasket. The other thing I like to do when I do these, and this is just a bit of personal wisdom, but if you run the bolts down by hand and then let it sit for an hour, you'll let that gasket cure a little bit and stiffen up. Then you can torque them all down to spec. That'll ensure that you don't have any leaks or problems when you go down the road. Alrighty, moving on to the transmission. The Mazda 5-speeds in these trucks are dead simple. You have a drain plug, which is nicely labeled for us, and a fill plug. That's really all there is to it. These take ATF. If you want to be specific, they take Mercon. So I cracked the transmission, and, you know, I wasn't expecting it to look that bad, actually, because this transmission shift's, like, perfect. But if you take a look at the fluid condition, I'll get some of my finger for you. I mean, it is jet black. This starts out as a nice cherry red ATF color, and it's just disgusting. I'm amazed this thing even shifted as well as it did. Let's see how bad it is. I know it's going to shoot a little bit over this way. Yes. Got it. Look at all the metal in there. Take a look at that. Currently, I am waiting on a tool. I need a 1 1/8 inch wrench to do those radial arms, and we don't have one right now. So what we're going to do at the moment is we're going to flush the coolant, because God knows how old the coolant in this thing is now. We're going to change out both the reservoir over here, and we're going to drain the radiator and get everything out of it. Yeah, as I suspected, the coolant in this thing is basically just liquid rust. You know, it's an older truck. Probably the previous owners didn't do the greatest job of maintaining it, so it's good that we're doing it now. Now, the other kind of cool thing about this truck is one of the things that they used to do back in the old days is they'd actually tell you how to do stuff with stickers under the hood. Like here, we got coolant replacement procedure. They tell you how to bleed air from the system. They show you how the evap system works, as well as some of the vacuum lines. You've got a belt diagram right here, so if you need to do a serpentine belt, super easy. You got air conditioner instructions. You got don't tamper with the airbags, tire changing. Like, they really designed this thing so that the average person could maintain it, and it shows. It's a nicely made truck. Of course, the finest of Ford engineering only gets the finest products. We got a SuperTech antifreeze. I like to buy the concentrate because it's cheaper than buying the pre-diluted. So once the thing's done dripping, we will fill it up and flush her out. So just because of how rough the coolant condition is on this thing, I'm probably going to run 2 flushes through it just because I want to get all that rust out. The other thing I'm going to do while I'm flushing it is I'm also going to flush the power steering fluid. So on these Ford pickups / Mazda pickups, they use ATF as power steering fluid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all that old fluid with a turkey baster, and then I'm going to throw some fresh ATF in there, steer it a couple of times, and then flush it again. As was my expectation, the power steering fluid condition on this thing is also wrecked. It should not be this dark. It should be a bright cherry red. It's like a deep crimson right now, so we're going to change that out. Alrighty, so the coolant is now topped up. Still got to bleed it and get it perfect, but we're not running it right now, so it's okay. And then over here, power steering fluid, I flushed it twice. Should be good. Might do it again later just to give it some time to bake in. So all that's left really on the engine side of things is we just got to do brake fluid and give it an oil change, and that's really about it. Well, it was a fight, but we got the kingpins out for the radial arms. The spring mount condition isn't great, but we'll fix that at some point. What I'm mainly concerned about is we got this guy out. That's what matters. Oh my god, that was terrible. And the bolts too. Probably get some new hardware for this just so that it's not as terrible to take apart next time, because this was genuinely awful to take apart. I had to sit there with the induction heater for like a minute and then hit it with the wrench. So hopefully it'll be a little easier next time. Alrighty, we're all done with the suspension. The fresh radial arms are in. Look real nice. Got those fresh bushings too. Doing an oil change right now. We're going to feed it the finest oil filter that money can buy. We got a Motorcraft genuine filter. Only because it was cheap, not because I really like Motorcraft. Yeah, new suspension looks real good. So we'll be done soon, get her on the ground, and take her for a quick test drive. What's up, guys? So it's a brand new day. Long story short, the truck broke down on us, so that's always fun. We got to put a clutch in this now. It started slipping on the highway when I was driving back from somewhere. But we're still making good progress with other parts of the build. So we're just doing all the top-end maintenance right now. Serpentine belt, plugs, wires, etc. One of the things I want to talk about real quick on these motors is the fact that it's twin plug. So it's very easy to get confused about what wires go where. What I like to do when I take everything apart, I label where each wire goes. So this one's for the exhaust cylinder 4 spark plug. And then I take a picture of where they go on the actual coil packs. These Rangers use wasted spark, so you can mess it up and still get the right combo, but I like to not take chances. I just like to label everything before I do it, take it apart. That way, when I put it back together, I don't have to guess where things go. We're also going to be doing serpentine belt and some other stuff, so I'll film those as I go, and we'll keep going. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, this truck had iridiums in it before. I'm changing it out to copper plugs and GK. My reasoning for this, and some people might disagree with me, but my reasoning is that when an engine comes with copper plugs, the coil packs tend to be a little bit weaker than modern cars that have iridiums or double platinums or double iridiums. So I like to keep the plug type consistent with whatever it shipped with originally. So we're getting coppers on this one. I always put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads, and then I put some dielectric grease on the electrodes, or on the ceramic, and we're going to throw these in, torque them down, and get her set. Alright, so plugs and wires are all done. I like to tidy them up when I do them with these nice little zip ties. Just makes it look a little bit neater. You don't have to do that, but it's my preference. Plugs are all gap checked, runs like a top, so now we just go swap out the serpentine belt, do a couple other small things, and get her rolling. I'm not sure if this is going to show up on camera, but doing the serpentine belt right now, and our old belt, you can see it here, there's a bunch of cracks and crap in it. No wonder it was a little squeaky, so new belt should solve any of the squeaks that it had before. Normally when you do a belt, it's best to replace tensioners and everything. Tensioner, idler, everything just as good practice, but we're on a budget here. The truck doesn't really need either of them. I verified that they're both still good, so we're just going to put a new belt on it and call it a day.